Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Love and Light Show, where your special guest is Tracy, and we're going to be talking about how you can get grounded and come back to your home, the peace within you today, especially within the chaotic energy that's going on in the world around us right now. So if you're feeling like you need to come home to peace, you need to get grounded and centered, and you want to know more about this rescue goddess energy that's coming through, definitely tune in and invite your friends who are feeling called to the same message, because it's so needed. There's like so much external junk going on in the world, and we don't want you to be like ungrounded and like flying away with like all the stuff that's no longer serving you. Want you to like clear that off and be centered and grounded and at home. And we're also going to do a really awesome shamanic journey with energy at the end that's going to really bring you to your center so you can come home within yourself. So I'm super excited to do that. And this is the Love and Light Show, where every Monday at 1 Atlantic, 12 Eastern, and 9 Pacific, we introduce to you different light workers and coaches and healers and amazing spiritual entrepreneurs who are doing incredible work in the world, so you guys can be connected to people that can support you on your journey, so that you can really be the change you want to see in the world, so you can show up for yourself on your healing journey, doing the work within yourself first and foremost. It's so important for us to do that for ourselves, that we have a fuller cup, so you can have the space you need to help and support the people around you, so you can be like serving from that overflow instead of an exhaustion point, and that you can really then have that space to do what your heart's desiring, so you can focus on your passions and that you can serve and support the world and shine your light in the way that you're meant to do and really be the change you want to see in the world and vibrate so many positive changes out. So I'm Laura McPhee. I'm a joyful goddess. I'm a speaker, healer, and coach who loves to empower women to get to their dream happy lives, so you can drop the self-care excuses that have been holding you back. You can let go of that ego mind that's been in control, saying that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not whatever enough, so you can truly show up as the version of yourself that you're meant to be, without the judgments of others, without the judgments of yourself, without that self-doubt, without all that stuff that might have been holding you back in the past. So you can truly move forward and love what you see in the mirror and love who you are and show up authentically as yourself, so you can, again, be the change you want to see in the world and create those positive impacts of change. And definitely say hi to us as you're joining on live. So hi, Victoria. I hope you're having an awesome day today. And I don't want to say your name wrong. Sela? I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and feel free to say hi to us when you're catching the replay too, and engage with us if you have any questions or stuff that comes up as we go along, or how you're feeling in the journey, or anything around this stuff. Definitely feel free to comment in the comment section below, so you can get that awesome energy out. And the energy that you put out into these things is what you get back. I find that that's something that people miss sometimes, where they're just like watching or being like a fly on the wall, and it's like the more you put out into the universal energy, the more you get back to you. So definitely feel free to engage with us on the show as well. And Tracy is an amazing soul alchemist. She's a spiritual teacher, a shamanic guide who supports people on their journeys of ascension. So I'm so excited to have you on today, Tracy. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. That's an amazing intro you have. I wish I had my I have a Be the Change mug, and I wish I had that with me right now to sip out of.
Oh, I love that. That would have been just perfect.
Yeah.
Very cool. So can you share a little bit with us about your story, your background, how you got to where you're at today?
Absolutely. So I'm going to speak kind of coming from it, talking to other light workers, talking to other people who are already spiritually awake, and who already kind of feel the pull for that path. So I'm going to rewind just like a little tiny bit to when the spiritual journey kind of started for me, and then kind of fast forward a little bit. So I've always kind of really been not a spiritual person, but like always just kind of like into woo-woo stuff. I remember as a teenager getting like tarot cards and things like that, and just loving that type of thing. And then kind of, like fast forward into real life, right? And I became a mom. And then, so that was kind of like really the focus for many years. I popped out 3 children. And then after my 3rd children, it was kind of like, okay, so what am I doing? What am I interested in? What's calling to me now? So then I kind of started to get back into it and started developing. So this is about 10 years ago. Started developing my intuition more. So I'm not one of those people that was like, like would talk to dead people or like had these psychic visions and stuff. I always thought that I just didn't have that. I always thought it was so cool, but I didn't have it because it wasn't blaringly obvious, right? So really working on developing my intuition and things like that, working with the subtle energies that were coming in, was kind of the biggest wake up call that, oh, hey, I do have access to this. Oh my God, everybody has access to this. It's, it's super fun and easy. And so as that started to develop, then it kind of like really snowballed from there. And then it got into, what do I feel drawn to? What can I learn about? And then it's just a series of, what books am I called to? What teachers am I called to? What courses am I called to? And then I started doing, different trainings for energy healing, different, working with different shamans, and working with just even the books that I would read would, expand me so much when I put into practice what they were teaching. So that's kind of like the fast forwarded journey of what I went through, but kind of throughout all that, and still to this day, one thing that I notice especially among light workers, because we're all empathic, we're all sensing the energy that's going on around us, is, so coming back to kind of what we're talking about today, which is that home within, that divine home within, that inner divine self. Throughout all of this, I believe that everybody kind of has this home within. They can retreat to this at any time. Call it your higher self, your inner self, whatever it is. You can feel it. People get it in meditation. It's kind of that sense of peace. The way that I see it in my mind is that everybody has like this home, right? Yeah. As empaths, when we're spiritually awake and we're aware of the energy that's going on, and even as empaths who are not necessarily knowing why they're feeling what they're feeling, it's more like a houseboat is what I find. So that it can be so easily rocked, right?
Yeah.
It depends on what waters all around as to what we're feeling. Anyway, so throughout my entire journey, what I noticed was my houseboat would get knocked over like all the time, like things that would be going on. It would throw me off for like hours and days and weeks at a time. So coming to a place where I can feel kind of at peace and feel like I can tune into my own light so that I can then shine that out, even though I'm still healing, even though I'm still working through my own stuff, super important to me. So that's why I want to talk about this today. I think that was a fast forward version of a bit of my story.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
So how do you help people get to their true self, their center, their home within?
Well, okay. So the way that I do it personally, and everybody's going to have a different path to get there. If what I'm saying, you're kind of like picking up and you're like, oh, I'm liking this, then I'm the type of person that my work is going to, be good for you. You might listen to what I'm saying and be like, that's not for me. Then I'm not going to be the right person for you. But the way that I do it generally is guided meditation, shamanic journeys are big, 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 because that allows you to tap into your subconscious. Anything that's allowing you to tap into your intuition and your subconscious is kind of like pretty big, right? So I'm going to talk in a minute about kind of some steps to get there, but just personally, the tools that I use, shamanic journey, guided meditation. I work with the Akashic records as well, which is just like a field of energy, right? So I tap into that. And again, you're just working with kind of like the field of energy more so than the logical mind and what's right in front of you. You're just kind of going deeper, right? So working with those, even like EFT tapping and things like that, you can be not only using that to clear energy, but using it to kind of like tap into some clarity as well about what this home is like, what it's feeling like. So I know some people are like, I can't visualize, or I don't have that intuitive sense. And I always say, go to EFT, because that'll allow you to tap into that subconscious side first. Those are some of the tools that I use. And of course, I go deeper. I have different energy healing modalities that I use to connect people to it. But those are really the basic ones that I use. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And we have more people saying hi. Hello. Hope you're having an awesome day. All kinds of people popping on live.
It is a good Monday, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome energy. So how do you walk people through those steps to get to their true self that you were talking about?
Yeah. Okay. So like I could spend a very, very, very long time on this. And I feel like it's kind of something that's more of a practice than something you do one time. So usually what I do, the first thing you want to be aware of is to be mindful. So just be mindful, what does my inner house look like, right? So again, as intuitives, as empaths, we're going to be on a houseboat. So the water around the houseboat is just as important as the houseboat itself. And again, we'll go through a guided journey and this will make a little bit more sense. But first, being mindful. How am I actually feeling? What's going on inside me? Asking, is this really how I'm feeling? Or am I just absorbing from others, absorbing from society and media and all the things that are going on? So number one is mindfulness. And absolutely just kind of like knowing how you're feeling. Yes. Number two is when you do detect like, I'm feeling off, this isn't feeling quite right. And I feel like it's being affected by outside outside sources. Then you want to lean into it and let yourself feel it and be like, okay, I'm feeling, depressed at this time, or I'm feeling defeated, or whatever energy it is, lean into it and just ask yourself, okay, it's okay that I'm feeling this. Number one, kind of just like accept that you're feeling this. But the way that I see things is facing them head on is how you're going to be able to shine the light on them to then let them go and release them. So facing them head on, leaning into them. And then there's two different paths you can take from here. If it's something that feels really, really heavy, you're going to take path number B in a second. If it's not something that's super heavy and you're just kind of like, you know what, this isn't mine, this is just me feeling what's going on here, I'm ready to release and let that go. You can sometimes just do that with a few breaths with your intention, just being aware that it's there and then letting it go. Now, if you're on path B where something feels a lot heavier, that's where you want to have some tools. And I believe that anybody that's an empath light worker, everybody like that should have tools. Most people do, right? So whether you're using some type of energy healing, some type of meditation work, EFT tapping, that's what I always tell people to go to. If you feel like you don't know anything else, or even if you do know other things, EFT is so powerful. Even though I'm feeling this crappy feeling, I deeply and completely accept myself and just go through your points and release the energy. If it's something like anger that you're feeling, there's different ways that you can be expressing that without necessarily energy work. Because sometimes for anger, energy work will work sometimes for me, but sometimes like beating a pillow up or like running up and down the stairs, dancing, something like that, you're actually getting the energy out in a different way. So you're doing the same thing as energy work, but just like physically doing it. So first you're mindful of it, and then you're finding a way to express it and to get it out of your body, because it's there, and you just have to understand that you're part of a collective. So it's going to continue to be there, but your point is to come back to the home as quickly as possible. Okay. So then after you have released it, after you've found a way to express it, and I should just mention again too, sometimes journaling does the ticket for that too. So sometimes people will like have a journaling practice. And especially if you like hate writing and resist it, you're the people that are going to benefit from journaling the most.
I can attest to that.
Same here. Like where I've been like,
I feel sad. Oh, all this stuff comes out. It's like, it's like, I don't want to do this. Nothing's coming up. And then it's like, if you just start, it'll work.
It's 100%, right? And a cool thing too is, you just start journaling, and you don't have to even have a focus. Just write about what you're feeling, and then just kind of be curious in your journal. I wonder why I feel like that. And then just always kind of look at it as though there's a mirror. So saying, that particular situation that's going on is making me feel this way. So how am I feeling that way about myself? That's making me feel angry. How am I? Anyway, so you can have a lot of, I don't want to say fun with that, because it can go like, I've gone pretty dark and done some pretty hardcore crying with things like that too. But it's cleansing, it's healing. And then you come out so much lighter on the other side. Okay, so you have your mindfulness, you have your release, and then it's about that reconnecting, that fire, that spark. So for that particular point, I will generally recommend like a guided journey or a meditation, or even just like a couple of breaths. Sometimes it can be like when we're busy and you're just like, I don't have time to do meditations or anything. While you're brushing your teeth, breathe into your heart while you're doing it. Like wash your hands slowly, or like in the shower, take your time and just set the intention. I am connecting to the divine within. I am open to divine guidance. I'm open to just really reigniting that flame within. So that's really the basics of it. The most important part of it is the mindfulness, because as soon as you can be aware of it, that's when you can create the change for it. And that's the same as with, pretty well anything at all.
And I love that you talked about the importance of breath work. And I feel like people have so many excuses. Like they're like, I don't have time. It's like, there are spaces in your day where you totally have time. Like you can do breath work when you're peeing. You can do it when you're like waiting in line to get your food or groceries, or at a stoplight. Like you can have so many spaces in your day when you're looking for that option. When you're like, I have so much space for mindfulness in my day. Look at all the spaces. It can be 5 seconds. It doesn't need to be long. It can be 2 minutes, whatever you need in that moment.
Yep, exactly. And it, I just thought of something, but I think it's gotten out of my brain now at this point. But yeah, that's what I find. Like I'll notice even when I'm driving or something like that, sometimes I'll just like, if there's a lot of things going on in my mind, I'll just shut the radio off for a second and just breathe for a second. And that kind of, especially if I'm like, driving in a place where I don't really there's not a lot of traffic around. Otherwise, like really probably pay attention to the road. But like, yeah, like you said, like at a stop sign or something like that. Yeah.
Definitely. And you can even clear while you're doing that. Cause I found I've been like in traffic or construction areas and it's like, woof, energy is different. And it's like, you can just set your intention to clear it. Or if you have those energy healing modalities, use them and be like, clear the stuff that's no longer serving everyone, send unconditional love to everybody, and then it like moves smoother. I find that works really well for my life.
Smoother. Yeah, and it's shifting your vibration. But the thing that you mentioned too about if you're looking for the spaces, you'll find it. You're shifting your perspective, right? So even the shift of perspective is saying, I'm open to find time for this. That's already getting you into the empowered state of connecting to that divine within. Because, and again, when you're connected to that divine within, that's when you can express that out. That's when you can take the action. That's when you can feel inspired and, keep spiraling. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I also really love that we were talking about this rescue goddess energy. So I would love for you to like explain what's coming through.
Yeah. So for me, rescue goddess is kind of like the embodiment of, so let's do it in a picture form. So let's say that you are running around kind of in your monkey mind with all the stuff that needs to be going on, all the things in the world you need to fix, all your to-do list and everything like that. And when you're doing that, it's so easy for us to forget that space within, forget who we truly are, why we truly came here, what our potential, our purpose, our power is. So rescue goddess for me is this archetype that comes down and taps you on the shoulder. Almost, it's not quite like a higher self, not quite like a guide, but it's just like this, like I can feel it in my whole body whenever I talk about it. It's this power that comes down and connects you into your body, connects you into the ground and says, wait a minute, this is who you are. It kind of like transforms you from this human body into this tree that's so deeply rooted into the ground and touches up so high into kind of the heavens that you're connecting, you're pulling down your inspiration, you're pulling down all this divine light, you're grounding it down, and then you're expressing it out. So rescue goddess is kind of like the coach for that. This energy that I work with and that I work with my clients with that allows us to really be that change, right? To be all the good things that we know that we are and to remind us to do that. So the way I work with the rescue goddess, like specifically right now, I work with her in like a 12-week program. So every week we look at different keys of the rescue goddess. And again, it's something that, because she has a lot of brilliance in her too. And it's funny because I planned out the content for rescue goddess weeks ago whenever I was launching it. And I just had to laugh so much though, because then I didn't really look at what was coming up this week for the program call tomorrow. But the call that we're doing today is almost the same content as I had planned previously. And then on top of that, I do a card draw on Monday just to kind of tune into the energy. And it was the same kind of energy cards that came up, was all about this home within. So I was like, oh my God, this is the week for it. Anyway, so rescue goddess brings a lot of synchronicities into life too. But yeah, she's kind of like this big sister energy that's really, really empowered. So I have a lot of fun connecting with her. And just like you connect with other archangels or other guides or things like that, it's that same kind of thing. But I find something about her energy so almost grounded and real. So anyway, I have a ton of fun with that. And I know the clients that I've been working with it have been really enjoying it too. So yeah.
Very cool. I love that so much. And I'm like, anything goddess right now, I'm like, oh, I want more.
Why not? Like, it's rise of the divine feminine at this point.
It totally is. I love that so much. We have more awesome goddesses joining us too. So hey, Whitley, hope you're having an awesome day. Nan Marie, you're having an awesome, awesome Monday. So can you share with us maybe like one of the keys of Rescue Goddess?
Absolutely. So again, so the rescue, and I won't kind of share all of it because generally what goes into one of my calls is, quite a bit of teaching around it. But for example, one of the Rescue Goddess is coming to your home. And so that's, again, what we're doing today. So it's your home, not just like within, like we've been talking about and like we're going to journey for, but it's also how is that reflecting on your physical body? So how are you? My puppy's going like insane upstairs. Sorry about that. If you can hear.
I can't hear it at all, but I love puppies.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. I was like, should she come down with me? No, we better leave her for now. But it's not only your inside, your divine, your home connection, but she's also reminding of like your physical body, how that is your home, how you can love that more, how you can feel more comfortable in it. for working with Rescue Goddess Home, it's all about feeling kind of that comfort and that peace. I've never heard her bark like that before. There must be somebody at the door. And just kind of like that sense of peace and comfort within. How can I provide that love to myself? How can I provide that comfort to myself? And then stretching it out further. So this home that I'm living in, this space that I'm living in, how can I have it reflect back to me how I want to feel within? How can I make small shifts to make that change within? And then expand it out even further. And you know what I mean? Continuing to go out. What can I do to allow my community to feel the energy better? Even if it's just breathing in the energy of compassion and expanding that out to your house, expanding that out to your neighborhood, expanding that out to your province or state and out to your country, how that changes the energy around you so that it is more inviting, it is more nourishing, and then more of the divine can come through from that.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's just a little tiny piece, but my course right now has 12 different keys that she's working with, and that came through to me as I was tuning into it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. It sounds so fun. I was like, ooh, I'm very intrigued by all this energy.
Exactly.
Very cool. So do you want to get into that shamanic journey now and get people really in tune to themselves, their home, their center? So everyone who's watching, even if you're watching the replay, take time for yourself. I know I can be sometimes guilty where I'm like watching podcasts and stuff or like YouTube and all that stuff in the background while I'm doing other stuff, but really take a couple minutes out of your day to tune inward, to give yourself this gift so you can really feel awesome. So you can take it away, Tracy.
So I'm also going to recommend that you don't listen to this while you're driving. Generally, people are not watching Facebook Lives while they're driving, but just in case. All right. And you just want to be seated in a comfortable position with your back comfortably straight, your feet flat on the floor for this, ideally. I find that's the ideal position for grounding. I will have my eyes closed pretty much throughout this, and I do invite you to do the same if you're comfortable with that, if you're in a place where that's okay. And you just want to start out by breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just keep the pace going for breathing at a pace that is comfortable for you. And just in through your nose and out through your mouth. And we're just going to start to come to center. So just focusing where your chakras line up, where your spine is, just visualizing a golden cord. And just with your breath, as you inhale, focus on that golden cord. And then as you exhale, start to expand it down so that you see the golden cord going all the way down through the soles of your feet, through the layers of the earth, all the way down to the center of the earth. And just visualize that golden cord. It might take a few breaths for your cord to reach all the way down to the center of the earth. Allow that to happen. And reach around and wrap around the center of the earth. And that golden cord is going to pull with it, just with your breath. On your next inhale, it's going to pull with it that earth energy all the way up through that golden cord, up through the layers of the earth, up through the soles of your feet. And you're going to breathe that earth energy into your body. And then you're going to visualize that golden cord then coming out through the crown of your head. And as the cord expands and goes above your head, it begins to open and awaken your transpersonal chakras, your fifth dimensional chakras. And don't get too concerned about the details of that right now. Just know that it's happening. And that cord continues to travel up, all the way up, 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 and travels all the way up to the center of the sun. And it wraps around that powerful solar energy. And that collects golden energy from the center of the sun. And then pulls that down into the crown of your head. And again, just with your breath and visualizing in your mind's eye, expand that golden cord so it's a golden column of light. And just with your breath, you will expand it outside your body. And then you'll expand it so it's a few feet around your body. So you are in this very grounded, very centered column of light. Now, in your mind's eye, first we're going to travel to your divine home through your heart chakra. So you can have your hand over your heart for this if you'd like. It helps you to. And just breathe, focusing on your heart. Just visualize the energy, that golden energy coming in through your heart. And then as you're exhaling, you're opening and expanding it. And visualize a big green door. You're going to walk in through that large green door into your heart chakra. And you may notice this might be a room or a space. It comes up slightly different for everybody. But just visualize on one wall, big French doors. We're traveling out through those doors. And it's going to take us to a dock. And it's very well lit and very bright. And on this dock is a giant, massive, very, very strong raft. And on that raft is your goddess home, your divine home. You can go ahead and just take a moment to look at this structure, see what it looks like. And knowing that you are completely surrounded in that golden source light, send some of that light to this home and just visualize surrounding it and soaking it in that golden light. And anywhere where it looks damaged or needs repair, just allow that golden light to adjust it and fix it. And invite in any guides that are high vibrational to come and join you now. And then you can go ahead and step through the front door here. Know that you are safe and you are secure. And just visualize all the water around this raft is steady and calm. And again, you can ask that golden light to come in and steady it. And if you find that it's very rocky, then that's a time to go back, to do your work, to do your releasing, to release some of the chaotic energy around you. But for now, we're going to stay within the home. And we're going to work with a few elements here. So continue to keep your intention of connecting to the home within strong. And you'll notice a big fireplace. Go over and stand by it and set the intention to connect to the source fire and to connect to your divine power. And just visualize standing with the warmth of the flame and set the intention that energy of the fire, that solar bright energy, is coming in through the crown of your head. And as it's doing so, it's pulling your power back down. Down from the divine, down through your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, your throat chakra, your heart chakra. And traveling down slightly to your navel and solar plexus chakra. Just breathe that fire in for a moment, still visualizing the home. We're going to turn now, and you're going to see it's almost like there's a skylight. It's like a tube, a column of light coming in. And this is your source of divine light that's within your home. Go and stand under it. And visualize that bright light again coming in through the crown of your head. This is pulling in divine inspiration so that you know what to do. It's pulling in divine clarity. Again, breathe that in. And just visualize that light coming in through the crown of your head. And this one washes around your entire body in this really pale, gentle rainbow light. There's actually quite a bit of archangel energy coming in with that one. And just breathe that in. Just pay attention and notice to see what comes up for you. And you may want to have a journal after this call as well to write down any insights that come to you. Now we're going to go over to a small pool that's within your goddess home. And just step over to it. Notice what the water looks like here. And bring in golden light to it if it needs to be clarified. This is your place for healing and peace. You can visualize dipping your hands into it. And you can cup the water. And you can put that water anywhere you feel you need peace. If there's anywhere particular in your body where you're needing it, anywhere you're needing the healing. Or you can visualize picking it up and putting it into your heart chakra to add extra peace energy to your body. And just visualize a gorgeous swirling turquoise color, softening the energy. And finally, we're going to connect to a small garden within this home. It might just be a tree in the house, it might be a potted plant, or it might be a little garden. Just allow it to take form, whatever shows up for you, whether you see it, you feel it, you hear it, or you just know it's there. You can visualize that garden. And this is where you will connect to the earth energy and ground everything that we have done today. So just visualize touching the plants there or putting your hands on the soil. And then visualize all of the energy, all of this divine light that we've pulled down, all the rainbow light and all the bright golden white light. Pulling that down and visualize that traveling down through your golden column, all the way down through the soles of your feet, down to the center of the earth. And then visualize that ball of light coming all the way up through the soles of your feet into your body and grounding all of that energy we worked with today. Set the intention here in your goddess home to be mindful and aware of how you're feeling so that you can adjust it to be your highest and best self. And set the intention you are open to divine guidance, to divine intervention, to any of your highest vibrational guides, archangels, ascended masters, earth guides, goddesses, anyone you feel called to work with. Ask them to completely surround you and support you in this journey now. And then you can go ahead and open the door to your goddess home. Notice that you are again at the dock. Step out of the dock, walk up and back into the French doors of your heart chakra. And from here, we're going to exit back out through that large green door. And again, just visualize yourself in that golden column of light. Visualize that golden column of light shrinking back down until it's the size of your body. And then shrinking back down again until it is just that golden thread where your spine is, where your chakras line up. And just focus on the soles of your feet one more time. And visualize golden anchors coming from them. And those anchors traveling down through the layers of earth, all the way down to the center of the earth, grounding your body fully in that earth energy. And then pull that earth energy all the way up through the soles of your feet and up into your body. And then whenever you feel ready, wiggle your fingers and toes and open your eyes. And just set the intention that you are present in your body, that you occupy your body, and that you are grounded and focused and ready to continue on with your day.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh.
I tried to keep it at a reasonable time frame there. There was a lot of places I could have gone, but I noticed there was a lot of archangel energy coming through. So I'm not sure if that is due to the people listening or the people that are going to listen to the recording, but there's a lot of angelic connection. especially Archangel Raziel, a lot of teaching energy. So there was a quick message that came through, which is, this step is important, and these things are important for those of you that feel that connection to the archangels. Get these teachings out, get all of the things expressed out, continue connecting in with yourself and spreading more and more of this light. So that came through. And please, everybody that listened to that, just notice what comes through for you and just note down any insights or inspiration, because messages will definitely come through when that energy is open. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that so much. And definitely feel free to share with us what that felt like for you guys, because that felt so amazing. I still have like tingly energy in my head right now. I'm like, whoo, journaling is going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's the 5D chakra, or the 5D chakras. I find whenever we're opening those up with that golden column, it's buzzy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that was really, I love that energy. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
My pleasure.
And Joy said, thank you so much. So yes, thank you so much for sharing. And definitely, even if you're catching the replay, #replay with how that felt for you, what messages you like felt from it, what came through for you, if you want to share that. Yeah, it was interesting. A big thing that I wanted to point out was when we were doing that initial view of the boat, like there was some things that I was like, okay, like I'm not like a huge fan of like a marina. Like in my head, like what I see of like boats and stuff, it doesn't like super resonate with me. So like the first boat that I saw was like, okay, cool boat. Like I'm not like a boat person.
I'm not either. I don't know, but yeah.
But then when we like did that like healing energy to fix it up, it like super got upgraded to this like super home loving, like I want to be here, awesome like ship thing where I'm like a little boat in my head. I'm like, waves can like fuck it up, but like a big thing that was like super stable. I was like, I like this.
Exactly. It's secure. And this is the thing. That's what's fun about these journeys, is you can adjust them however they come up. Like what came up for me is like almost like a Harry Potter style situation where like, I don't know if you remember like the tent that Hermione had, and like you go into the tent and then it's like this massive, like cool space. So it was a situation where it looked to be like this little thing. And then when I went into it, it felt more like this giant Victorian home. So anyway,
I love it.
It's fun to do that. Yeah.
Very cool. So can you share with us how they can connect with you after the show?
Absolutely. Yes. So I have my Facebook page and my Facebook group, Soul Alchemy, for life, business, and spiritual development. It's a mouthful, but that's the name of my private group on Facebook. So that's probably the best place to connect with me. Of course, I'm at tracygaudet.com. You can also find out more about Rescue Goddess at rescuegoddess.com, and that'll take you there. And then I have my membership website, the Sacred Library. So that has dozens of just shamanic journeys, guided meditations, energy healing, spiritual teachings. It's just like all the things.
I love it.
Yeah. So you can definitely check that out if you feel called to, and I'd love to connect. Yeah.
Awesome. And can you put that in the comments below too, so that people can like easily see that after the show and be like, yes, this one and this one.
Exactly.
Very cool. And thank you so much for sharing your space, your time, and your energy with us today. That felt so amazing. And I know that so many people need to know this information, because the world, the way that it is, when you look at the media and the stuff outside of you, like you can feel it, you can sense it. Like there's shifts and changes happening. And if you're being called to that, move forward on your journey. Like the world needs every single one of us to step into our power and shine our light and do what we need to for ourselves first and foremost, so that we can then serve and support the people around us. So I really encourage you guys to do that. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I definitely encourage you guys to make the Love and Light Show a weekly habit in your life. We're actually going to do a bonus episode this week. So on Wednesday, if you want to join us, we're going to do it at 12 Atlantic, which will be 11 Eastern and 8 Pacific. All the time zones. I got it down. So we're doing a bonus episode, so you definitely want to tune in for that too. I'll be posting about that episode later today, so I'm really excited for that one. And definitely just like move towards the next steps that are guiding you on your journey. And we also had another thank you come in. Thank you, Tracy. Feeling so much more grounded and connected. My spine is longer and stronger. My RAF rocked. Very cool. Thank you guys so much. So I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I hope you have an awesome week. Bye.